All right, so Brandon Ingram has been traded to the Raptors. And I'm trying to process this one, thinking about like how this makes much sense, I guess. Contract, money all aside, I'm literally thinking about fit. Brandon Ingram traded from the Pelicans to the Raps for Bruce Brown, Kelly Olynyk, and a first round and 1 second rounder. I actually think it's a pretty damn good package for the Pelicans, if I'm being completely honest. Brandon Ingram, who has been injured for most of the year, is obviously a very good player. But when I think about this trade, I immediately, like I said, think about how he fits in. And I was already starting to say, I don't see how Brandon Ingram's fitting in with McCollum, DeJounte Murray, and Zion under the assumption that they would all be healthy. They haven't been healthy. I mean, him being the biggest unhealth there, right? But how's he going to fit into a system now where RJ Barrett, Scotty Barnes, the predominant ball handlers, and none of them are all like Brandon Ingram? I guess the way he could fit is to turn into a really good 3-point shooter, which he is a good 3-point shooter. But we know Ingram. He's going to be a guy that wants to kind of ISO, hezzy, pull up from the mid range, right? That doesn't seem like it makes the Raptors any better. Their issue is not scoring from inside the 3-point line. Scotty Barnes, RJ Barrett, they do that plenty. They get to the quickly as well, right? When he's healthy, like they can get to the hoop, they can score from inside the arc. They need someone that stretches the floor, and though Bruce Brown, Kelly Olynyk weren't guys that were doing that from anyway, so it's not like they lost one of those guys. I don't necessarily know if Brandon Ingram is going to be the guy that comes in and says, I'll be your 3-point savior. Now, this season, having a pretty good year, 22.2 points, 6 rebounds, just over 5 assists. I'll give him credit there, right? Like, I'm really not ragging on Brandon Ingram. I'm almost ragging on the fit, if that makes sense, right? This kid was obviously a highly touted pick coming out of college, played really well, in college. Like, there's nothing wrong with Brandon Ingram other than I just don't know if this is where they necessarily need him. He's a 19.5 points per game guy in his career. You look at it from, his last 5 seasons or so, he's averaging plenty of points. I believe it's like 23, 24. So again, yes, they got a good guy. I do think that they gave up a decent amount. Like, I think that Pelicans haul is not all that terrible. But how does Brandon Ingram now fit into this lineup, right? If we look at the Raptors, you're going to have Quickly, you'll have Grady Dick, Ingram, RJ Barrett, Scotty Barnes, Jakob Poeltl. Seems like there's something that just doesn't click there because, again, their scoring is going to be all interior. And Brandon Ingram, let's see if we can pull up Brandon Ingram's shot chart for the season. Let's see if we get that up because that may be able to kind of, I guess, to some degree help out what I'm trying to prove here. Yeah, look at this. Boom. It's spot on. Brandon Ingram, sure, he's going to shoot a decent amount from here, but look, like that is where he's going to shoot a ton from. Like, yeah, like that is where he's going to make shots from, where he's going to shoot from totally, like in the paint right there and also in the mid-range. So, yeah, I don't know if this is necessarily the best of moves. Like I said, he's playing okay. He's playing well. His 2-point field goal, he's taking 6.2, only making 2, attempting 12 from the 2-point range, only making 2.4 per game. So yeah, it gives him a little bit of shooting ability, but I don't know. Am I the crazy one thinking that this is just not exactly the player profile that the Raptors need? It's a good player. I think that they have a outside of the United States, it's like a Toronto version of the Big Three. They have Barrett, Barnes, and Ingram here. They have Emmanuel Quickly as well. He could be a little, 4th tier. Jakob Poeltl. Like, they have a decent team. I just don't know if I understand the fit. I've said that a million times. That's my takeaway of this trade. The Pelicans kind of got what they're needed from him. They have still DeJounte, CJ, and Zion. Like, Brandon Ingram may have been the odd man out there, clearly. So, yeah, we'll see how this one goes. If he gets healthy and adds to this squad, then great. The one thing I will say is you do not have 3 guys that can score when you need them to versus just Scotty and just RJ. But again, I think that they could have done a little bit better stretching the floor, but who knows? I'm talking maybe getting a 40+% shooter type thing. Brandon Ingram this year, 37.5. I guess that's not terrible, but it's also not the best. Last season, let's see. Last season, he shot 36, right? So, like, that just doesn't seem like the stretch of floor guy. But, hey, I'm not a GM, and honestly, we're probably wrong about a lot of these takes in the trade deadline because that's how it goes. They iron these things out. I'm sure Brandon Ingram is going to come in and shoot the lights out for them because that's what they need. But that's going to wrap it up, guys. Not the biggest of deals, but I figured this was one worth making a video on the second channel about. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Catch you guys in the next one, all right? Peace out.